In a world where information seems to travel at the speed of light and traffic at a snail's pace, where the agenda of those at the helm doesn't always reflect the pressures on the streets, where the rubber hits the road, where there's queue of issues needing to be interrogated in the name of speaking truth to power.
Welcome to a place at the table,
where we set the agenda,
table the issues that matter to you,
and invite you to take a seat at the table.
Welcome to a place at the table. Are you popcorn ready? Because I'll be screening matters of dance, culture, and the business of Nollywood.
Always ready for entertainment, Ronke. Perhaps this is why some have said education is a scam, whereas the real scam is ignorance.
If education is a scam, let them try ignorance. Don't mind them, Ronke. Some might even want to play ostrich in the sand about the mountain heap of refuse that is literally drowning out the city of excellence.
But I'm sure you won't let them remain blissfully ignorant, Zuma. I'm also setting the record straight about a certain retirement home in Abia State connected to Governor Alex Oti.
The spin doctors will continue to spin Kingsley, especially as 2027 draws near. Some might even say that the rigging has begun in our very before.
Well, they say reality can be stranger than fiction. I totally agree. Settle down. Let's unpack our totori. At the beginning of this year, I said we were popcorn ready for what Nollywood might unveil in 2026. I did not imagine the drama would arrive so quickly or that it will center on a simple question: must a filmmaker dance to sell a film? Kunle Afolayon's declaration following the release of Anikulapo The Girl Awakens that he cannot dance to promote a movie has continued to reverberate, generating continuous debate. Well, he's the heavyweight who can lead such a debate. First, we must leave ego and emotion at the door and ask harder questions about the true cost of storytelling, the most effective marketing channels for Nigerian cinema, and how success is actually measured and shared. Funke Akindele's extraordinary box office dominance is certainly not in dispute. This debate doesn't even threaten our legacy. Yet, Kunle Afolayon's observation about dance as a promotional strategy remains valid. The truth is that, with Funke's influence, dance was slowly becoming culture, one that could intimidate filmmakers who are not sanguine. Dance is demanding work, and what appears like a few joyful steps is actually choreography, rehearsal, and labor layered onto the already exhausting process of filmmaking. Still, this phenomenon is not entirely new. The Alarijo Traveling Theatre of Yoruba tradition blended dance, drama, and announcement in the village square. It was art and advertisement intertwined. Now, Funke picked that tradition, refined it, and rode on it to remarkable commercial success. But it cannot become the culture. Filmmakers such as Kemi Adetiba with King of Boys and To Kill a Monkey, Bolale Austin Peters with The Bling Lagosians, The Man of God, House of Gar, remind us that memory, scale, and audience impact can emerge without choreographed promotion. The outcome of the debate is that everyone, particularly the undiscerning populace, now understand that no one needs to dance to make them watch a movie. We're quick to condemn dissent in culture, yet we complain that politicians are intolerant and refuse to listen. You know, Nollywood will grow stronger when many paths to the audience remain open and every storyteller is free to choose their own rhythm without apology.
I would like to start. I don't see myself as someone who is very familiar with Nollywood or the entire movie industry as a whole. But I saw a bit of Kunle's interview where he shared the fact that, we all don't need to dance. I'm going to take this out of the Nollywood space and take it also even to the regular selling space. There's been a lot of concerns with people around the fact that it's not enough to just do good work. It's not enough to do quality work. You also need to perform to sell your good work. And that is what a lot of issues, a lot of people have issues with. I've put out a good production, then I have to dance again to beg you to watch the movie. No, now, that's a lot of extra work. And beyond that, the way we get to experience movies in the past is through posters, billboards, community engagement, through premieres. Dance as a way of selling cannot become cultural to us. This is even beyond the movie industry. We need to be intentional about how we approach going to the market and staying in the market. Another way to go is using influencers. I mean, that's like a more, but also understand using dance because it's a affordable way. We are not particularly incurring a lot of costs in all of that. So I think maybe even for Funke, it's more an avenue to get to more audience without spending a lot, because Nigerians love entertainment, and then they are more likely to share the dancing videos and all of that, more from the angle of entertainment and not from the angle of the actual value she's trying to, transfer to them.
I think, for me, it smells of a lot of beef. Yeah.
So I tried not to go into the beef part.
But is it
there's
beef?
a lot of
is
beef.
dissension beef? Is wanting to be different beef?
What's your business? Who are you to you can choose to do whatever you want to do, but allow the other person. This is how she wants to promote her work.
Did you see his video? Did you listen to his video?
He was attacking.
It was not an attack. It was more an angle of her, because a lot of other artists also came out, to share their thoughts around it. It wasn't. I didn't consider the interview, the clip I saw, an attack.
So you think that was not a snide remark?
No.
I don't think it's a snide. I personally, I think it's an interjection at the right time, because it was becoming a culture. Even those who were writing books were now being expected to start dancing to sell the book.
If you are selling wig on Instagram, you have
to dance.
Who expects them? When you say they are now being expected to dance, you know, there's something about she runs a school,
Ronke.
and she knows the difference between the best teachers are not always the best, don't always run the best schools. It's a business. So it is one thing to make a good product. It's another thing to sell that good product. And if dancing is what it takes to sell that product, so be it.
Well, it's not a global culture. You wouldn't find. I think it's if you look at it universally, I think it's a demotion.
I think it's low level.
It's low level. Says the university. You will never find the Nollywood Hollywood actors dancing around.
Hollywood has their own culture.
That is Hollywood.
So I always like to leave people to their own culture.
Exactly.
Let's do our own culture.
That's it.
As someone who has historically danced online and has been criticized, as someone that has been an educator and like, how can an educator do this one? How can you have a school and you are like this? As someone has been judged, I beg to differ. One thing that I love Kunle Afolayan, but where I didn't quite sink was when he said his movies are for intellectuals.
That's recently. No, that's recently. No. That's totally removed from this particular debate.
You know what I mean? But it's when is that dark spot? Is that one little thing that you do that spoils the other things? That's really anyway. There are levels to these things. I actually would not expect to see Kunle Afolayan dancing online.
Or a Richard Mofedamijo dancing.
No. After all, funny enough, Richard...
Or an Ego Boyo dancing.
It also depends on your audience.
And your personality as well. I think you should let people do what works for them. What works for audience, them. It works for her. The numbers are coming in, it's working for her.
Yeah.
Kunle Afolayan's audience, if I see him dancing, I will feel somewhat disappointed. So I think age has to do with it, maturity has to do with it, your audience, understanding your tribe, your unique selling proposition.
I won't be disappointed.
That's Kingsley. This is Ronke. If I see him dancing, I will be wondering, it's time
to dance. It's time to dance.
No, I'll be wondering
so that is the point about it not becoming a culture. It being that you will do what what conforms with your personality without being pressured into dancing to be, sort of comfort some people or to, fit into a mold that is.
Iyalode, your audience matter.
Yes. Yeah. The audience matter, yeah.
Who are the members of your audience? Don't forget the 80-20 rule. You want to sell to 80 of this class, or you want to sell to the 20% of this class?
Right.
Funke Akindele and Kunle Afolayan, they are not addressing the same class.
Yeah.
They are not. And I can tell you Kingsley for free. Take it to the bank.
Don't worry, I can pay for it.
Kunle will never be Funke. I am telling you authoritatively, publicly. Okay. Kunle will never. Are you aware how many times...
Kunle will never be.
Beef.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you know how many times Kunle had promoted Funke?
Well, that's fine then.
Do you understand? In fact, recently, just last month, he still mentioned Funke. He still advised some students in the festival of art and culture somewhere in the north that they should see Funke as their role model. That same event, he brought out Ibrahim Chata. Remember, you see, the problem are these bloggers.
Yeah.
You see these bloggers?
Thank you.
Until they make 2, 3, 4 of them samples by jailing them, they will not stop causing troubles between people.
That's right.
No.
Look at what they wanted to start between Funke Akindele and Fetia Balogun in the recent times. Those ones are matured enough and they knew how to handle it. These people, they just pick one thing that doesn't make any sense. That even people, Benga and Zuma, that they do. No, sir. I disagree.
It's left for you to.
No, I disagree. They are messing up journalism. They are messing up blogging. Okay, they are not journalists anyway. Yeah. They are messing up blogging. If you are Beboro, what do they call them now?
Gossip blogs.
Gossip blogs. Yeah.
There's always been soft.
Yes, but you see, do something that is credible. They are just messing up themselves. I mean, so. They should manage their space individually. And talking about it, he said his movie is not for intellectuals.
That's a recent one. Has nothing to do with this particular debate.
Yeah. So who, like politicians and politics?
For intellectuals or
yes.
It's not for?
For.
Like politics and politicians. Who are the people that vote? So if you are speaking English like my brother, P.O., you may not win. That's the bitter truth. Who are the people that vote? The people you are campaigning to, they watch EPL on election day.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but if we all became dancers, then what would become of the storytellers or the singers or the doctors or the inventors?
Ask them, Funke. Perhaps it's multitasking. We have become a nation of entertainers, and no one seems to be asking, who will build the nation? Whilst everyone is dancing on TikTok. School may be a scam, but education is not and can never be a scam. What failed many people is a broken system, not learning in itself. Yes, many people hate school buildings, rigid classrooms, outdated universities, and certificates that don't translate into dignity or jobs. That frustration is real. But turning that pain into the idea that education in itself is useless, it's dangerous, especially for a developing nation. Social media has popularized a risky myth that loud success online equals intelligence, that fast money equals wisdom, that poor conduct does not matter if income is coming. That logic collapses the moment we ask one serious question. Who does this help in the long run? If education is abandoned, who designs our roads? Who understands medicine, law, child development, agriculture, manufacturing, artificial intelligence, and governance? Who builds systems that lasts beyond trends? A person making money online is not automatically a role model. Visibility is not value. Income is not impact. Nations are not built on exceptions or outrage-driven fame. Let's correct something important. Education is not only classrooms and universities. Education includes technical training, vocational skills, mentorship, reading, problem solving, emotional intelligence, ethics, discipline, lifelong learning, amongst others. The real conversation should be better education, not no education, because this is what truly moves societies forward. Personal development matters. Depth matters. Discipline matters. A loud voice online does not replace knowledge. Fast money does not replace understanding. Entertainment can trend a nation. Education sustains a nation. Parents must raise discerning children, not follower-hungry ones, or those who follow blindly without exercising theory-thinking faculties. Leaders must reform education, not abandon it. Young people must learn the difference between influence and substance. Africa cannot be built on vibes, shortcuts, or personalities alone. We need thinkers, builders, professionals, creators with character. School may need reform. Education must never, ever be discarded. That choice shapes not just individual futures, but national destiny.
Who are the influencers today? What is their pedigree? Where are they coming from? What is their dream? What vision do they have? Dream is not what you see when you sleep at night, but dream is what will not make you to sleep at night. What do they see? What do they cast? What goals do they cast to our young ones? To have education is a must. To go to school is a must. That is my personal view. You may not go to university, but technical school is there. Try and get something. We should stop encouraging and rewarding mediocrity and thuggery. That is why our children, our youth have the audacity to be saying school education has come. When they see thugs, when they see people who never went to school in their area driving cars, driving heavy cars, building mansions. Why wouldn't they? Because children learn from what they see, not necessarily what to say. You know? So, but you see in Nigeria, people of merit and high performance, they are put behind, they are put at the back seat, they are not recognized. It's a shame on any university or any community presenting a check of 100,000 to a first-class graduate. Shame on that school. A first-class graduate. You are presenting, and years after, you hear that the boy is looking for a way to run away from Nigeria. Are you aware that there is a lady named Olanike Adebayo? I'm giving you names. She was frustrated there, got to UK, and invented a solution that saved United Kingdom NHS 15 million pounds. Toyosi Akerele Ugushiji, just, her AI and the invention hub in Anthony here, just invented some good machines and machineries that helps people to check your brain, to check. Nobody is encouraging. Do you know that we have guys in Nigeria that they've invented cars and they went to Germany for this competition? They won. Nobody heard about them. Nobody showcased them. Nobody encouraged them. But somebody will dance on TikTok nakedly. Somebody now they are they've started advertising Big Brother now. Talo Shewa, who drew us this way? No, why can't we just support merit for once? Enough is enough. We should stop this nonsense.
I think
yeah.
Should I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Ronke, well done.
Thank you.
You drew a line between schooling and education.
Education, thank you.
Absolutely. Formal, informal, doesn't matter.
Our kids have issues with school. And I think we need to hear that and let it resonate very well. Let's understand what this complaint is about. So, designers of formal learning need to hear what the learners are saying so we can structure our schools to suit people who are not comfortable with the kind of structured learning that we have. And then education happens every day. You know, so some of those who are complaining are telling you education is a scam. They learn so much on YouTube. That's education.
Yeah, it's a university.
There are guys who learned how to operate the cameras, edit videos on YouTube. You've educated yourself. So we need to put it in context, which Ronke has kicked off. But I want to say this, and you're the mic. Are we listening to people who want to learn and trying to know how they learn and how they want to learn? If that becomes a culture on the part of those who are the custodians of our educational system, I think we won't have people struggle with learning. There's a learner in every individual.
Okay, let me get into it. If you think school is a scam or education is a scam, you should try ignorance. I tell people that what you learn in a structured learning environment, it's not even about the skills itself. It is about how you think and discipline. If you can show up every day. So what education typically does for us is it teaches us how to think and how to act. If you're learning stuff on YouTube, it is not education. You are learning. There's a difference between learning and education. Education is holistic. It is beyond the skills. It makes you a well-rounded individual. So even if you're learning...
you mean formal or informal?
Both formal and informal. Both formal, any form of education, it is beyond the skill itself. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you critical thinking. It teaches you decision-making.
Simple courtesy.
Courtesy. Human relationship.
Attitude at the workplace.
So for me, education, it's a non-negotiable. Beyond the basic education that is made compulsory, which I think it should also be made to up to the secondary level, it should be fully compulsory. Then post-secondary education, you need to decide what you want to do post-secondary. Yeah. Do you want to go to the universities, polytechnic, vocational training institute? Everybody needs to be educated. My favorite quote is, education makes people easy to lead, but difficult to drive. Easy to govern, but impossible to enslave. Part of the issues we have in Nigeria is a low literacy, low level of education.
Very low.
And that shows even in the way we engage with our leaders, the way our leaders engage with us, and the way we engage with ourselves. So please, education is not a scam. Everybody needs to get educated.
I think we arrived at this juncture because the Nigerian government downgraded technical education. Back in the days when we were growing up, if you didn't have the brain to continue to the university, you went to maybe a teacher training, you went to develop your technical skills, and there is nothing second class.
Brain, teacher training.
Yeah, teacher training. There is nothing second class about being a skilled person. It just means that you're wired differently. But the Nigerian government downgraded the technical training, whether you were learning to be a plumber or you're learning to be a carpenter and all of that. So it then looked like the dregs of the society went that way. It then looks like you were not making it if you decided to, go that way.
In their defense, they've added it back in the last curriculum.
Good for them.
2025.
Good for them. It's now that
elevate. So society is now the challenge. They still look down on some of those courses.
Because they still need to work on what harm they did in the past. I would always love China's educational system because they're not just cognitive, it's holistic. They take in everything and make sure that this child, in the long run, if you're not book smart, there has to be something smart about you, and they work on that. Recently, they said for doctorate degrees, they're not even looking at you writing researches anymore, but that if you have something practical that you want to add to the society, they will take it. Inventions. They will take it as a doctorate for you. When are we going to get there? In Nigeria, that's number one. I like what you said about role modeling. Who are our role models in Nigeria? Who do we call to give awards to at the end of the day? Visibility is now performative in Nigeria. And, Zuma, you said that when you were talking about my monologue. It is your impact in what you do that matters. Not everybody dancing everywhere. And yes, there's nothing wrong with dancing, but we can't all be entertainers.
Yeah. And let me say this. Let me use let me seize this opportunity to address Ben Bruce, who announced globally that a boy who is dancing on TikTok is the most influential youth in Nigeria. I have debunked it. I have said no, sir. And I'm saying again, no, sir. This is our constituency as youth coaches and youth mentors across, but globally. That boy cannot be our ambassador. It's an insult on our constituency as youth constituents. That boy what does he do to impact people just to be telling girls to naked themselves on TikTok, and you are announcing such a boy as the most influential boy in Nigeria? No, sir. That's very wrong of you.
Let's stay inquiring. Let's keep thinking. Let's keep learning. Don't give up on education. Only then can we be said to be progressing as a nation.
Forward ever, backward never. Certainly, the city of excellence and piling refuse doesn't sound like a winning combination. Lagos, Africa's most populous city, is drowning in its own waste, not metaphorically, but literally. Over the past few weeks, there have been reports of streets in communities like Alimosho, Ojuelegba, and beyond being overrun with refuse, turning neighborhoods into health hazards and eyesores. Residents report waiting months for garbage trucks, despite faithfully paying monthly bills to the Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA. The private sector partners, the PSPs responsible for collection, are failing to show up regularly, citing faulty equipment and operational lapses. This is beyond inefficiency. It's a systemic failure made worse by infrastructure deficit. The current model, where LOMA oversees everything from collection to disposal through a limited network of PSPs, has proven inadequate for Lagos's explosive growth. With over 20 million residents generating thousands of tons of waste daily, and a one-size-fits-all approach leads to bottlenecks. The status quo is buckling under the megacity's demands. It is time for bold, immediate reform and a strategic overhaul of the PSP system by setting clear, non-negotiable key performance indicators for existing PSPs, covering asset quality, fleet size, employee capacity, and effective route mapping with a mandatory GPS tracking. By strategically empowering significantly more PSPs to meet demand and foster healthy competition, the current 364 PSPs, even at optimal capacity, are insufficient. By mandating PSPs to establish visible contact offices within their communities of operation to deliver better, more accountable customer service and address resident complaints in real time. These actions will improve response rates, spur innovation, stimulate healthy competition, and enable LOMA focus on regulation, auditing, and PSP accountability rather than logistics. A cleaner, more resilient Lagos is not a luxury. It's a fundamental necessity for public health, economy, and future as a global city. Let's outsource the physical collection, empower local operators, and allow LOMA to effectively manage the vision and regulation. The time for half measures is over. The health of 20 million citizens and the reputation of Africa's biggest economy depend on us moving from broken promises to decisive action now. Minga, how is refuse collection going in your
Very
neighborhood?
bad. Trust me, very bad. In fact, sometime last year, I called them to stop picking my refuse, that I got a local boy who is more effective than the so-called truck PSP.
Yeah, but you
where
don't
is
know
he
where
dumping it?
the
Where is he
local
dumping
boy
it?
is dumping.
You said what?
Where is he dumping it?
The local boy.
Okay, so I will tell you, because I asked, okay, hold on. I asked, how do you do it? Only for him to take me outside my estate, and they have somebody else who has this big whatever, and he's the one that will take it to the dump site.
So who is funding that?
No, the guy is using it as a business. The guy is doing it as a
illegal
personal
PSP.
business. As a personal.
So you pay the boy, the boy pays the big boy.
Yes, I followed up. It was when they saw, it was when the company now saw that I was not joking. They now tried to, do some karamo. Even at that, up till now, they are still messing up. Politics is not governance.
Oh, some karamo.
Yes, we need to stop politicking with people's life.
Okay.
Everything is politics. You don't belong to my ward. You don't belong to my party. You don't belong to my constituency and all that. Why should we? So I recommend more dump sites. Number 2, citizens' education about refuse management. Because a Nigerian who just came from Heathrow, who cannot drop shungum paper in Heathrow, will come to Muritala and drop your water. Do you understand? But over there, Konisho, he will not try it. So our citizens also need education. Especially this rainy season that is coming. Have you seen them? During the rainy season, they will pack everything and drop it inside drainage. But PSP, you can do better. You are not performing.
Well, for me, the challenge that PSPs are in Lagos can be traced back to the Ambode administration time. And it, just as you've said, it's as if you saw my what I've written down. It all boils down to politics. If you remember at that time, it was because these set of people were given the contracts, the contract was taken from these people and given to these other people, and then it became a mess. And then after Ambode was you know, there was a solution of sort. But what we have today is also because sometimes these PSPs miss their schedules. Because when you miss your scheduled pickup, then people come and pile more, it overflows. That's number one. Number two, the question of the dump site. Olusosun is overflowing.
Yeah.
We need new dump sites. That's the thing.
Outside town.
In Lagos, we need, there's one again along Lasu Road. Igodo.
Yeah.
It's also overflowing.
It's flowing into the road now.
Yeah.
I passed there 2 weeks ago.
I passed by that place as well. So I passed by Olusosun, I passed by this other one. They're overflowing. So this is about Lagos State thinking outside the box.
I want to recommend recycling because any dump site we have is still going to be full again.
Exactly.
So I think if we are recycling, we are also going to be able to create jobs. We can use some of that waste for energy.
I mean, look at what Alex Oti is doing in Abia. They're using biofuel.
Yeah.
So they can use it for energy. So that waste is not just waste if we want to use it constructively. So we need recycling plants. We need to, it will create jobs. It will take many people off the streets. I mean, I have here that Rwanda enforces strict sanitation laws. What happens when people dump anywhere? Is it the random one person that you will catch every now and again? It has to be consistent, including that person that comes from Heathrow and drops something at Muritala. We tend to respect some people and don't.
Yes, selective.
Because even where I work in Ikoyi, I still see people who wind down from their SUVs and throw things out. People that should know better. Yeah. You still see them doing that. It's not just anybody that does it. Even the so-called high and mighty, they also do it. So that education that you talked about is very important. Schools, very important. Government enforcing it, very, very important. Sorting. Let's start sorting.
From the home.
From the home. The countries that do it they're not jobless. I know that recycling already happens at a very low scale already. Because when you empty these things, some people come to pick out the plastic. Yeah. So that is one type of recycling. But who is picking the cardboard and reusing those ones? So we can sort our waste out. And all that starts with education of the everyday man.
If not for politics, Ambode was making progress on this whole thing. So can they just be humble enough, pick up what he left, and let's go back there? The template he was creating was had a lot of job creation tied to it. It wasn't just waste disposal. It was using waste to generate energy.
Green Africa.
Yes.
Green Africa.
It was using waste for agriculture. And then the supply chain, the network of jobs that you could create from recycling. So go back there and pick it up. Then you hit it, straight up. And Ronke said it too. Let's educate ourselves on how to sort out this waste. I remember
these are people problems.
Yes.
No.
There's enough blame to go around. But government needs to lead the way. If you have this decomposing waste, you have plastic and you have metal. Sort them out. And then when they come, they know what to pick and then where to dump which. What you have in Olusosun now is all sorts. Plastic, metal, even cloth. There's something happening in Ghana now. There's a guy who is recycling old clothes and he's using it to do bricks. That's recycling. So we can do all those things. But Ambode had a blueprint. If this government is indeed a continuum, pick up what he left and improve on it and run.
Health is wealth. We need an environment that is conducive to healthy living before we even begin to speak of nurturing excellence.
You would think that was a no-brainer, Zuma. Perhaps people are more interested in the latest headlines than the actual substance on the ground. Governor Alex Oti may be grappling with a pleasant problem: to pay senior citizens above the age of 60 a monthly salary for a lifetime, or continue setting the record straight. The Abia State Senior Citizens Centre was signed into law on May 27, 2025. It is unprecedented in Nigeria, but it is not a retirement home, a distribution hub for monthly stipends, salaries, or cash handouts to all seniors, says Governor Oti. A simple online search would have enlightened those currently spreading misinformation about the center. But who cares? Nigerians are desperate for good governance, making us vulnerable to hope-based fake news. Indeed, the right to remain ignorant is a fundamental right that must be respected. But we should be worried when this right is fueling an epidemic of mental laziness. People can no longer afford the rigor required to dig deep to understand. Take it or leave it. Governor Oti is that one-eyed man in a country of the blind. So the spread of this fake news, even among educated people, reveals a profound hunger for positive governance and welfare, making citizens highly susceptible to misinformation that promises relief. That is part of what we are seeing in this free money for senior citizens in Abia. There is also the weaponization of narrative used to either create false praise to build a star boy image or to set up a government to fail when the promised benefits do not materialize, leading to public disappointment. Oti believes that is the case here. And then the citizen journalist and social media influencer phenomenon is a problem. Everyone is now a journalist, with most viral news stories originating from individual social media users. This allows any blogger to post and spread concocted reports without fact-checking. The subversive reporting becomes a business when clicks earn you money. Over-reliance on social media influencers to tell us what matters most is a clear and present danger. That is what the Abia scenario demonstrates. With the 2027 election gearing up, politically charged misinformation and proliferation of AI tools could be catastrophic.
The right to remain ignorant is a fundamental right.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah.
It cannot
Yeah,
be a
Zuma.
right. You can't, no. We are not taking that. It should be a crime to choose to remain ignorant. We should
Who's going
criminalize
to pass the
it.
law?
I don't know. Who sponsored the
I was
bill?
looking for trouble then.
President Zuma for
If
president.
you choose not to know,
Oh my
So,
God.
we can
as
help
an
you.
adult, I feel like I'm less aware of the things going on in the world than I did as a child. I mean, growing up, there were newspapers, there were radio stations, there were pamphlets printed in local languages that are being shared in the market to share, just so you can stay updated on what is going on. I feel like governments, our governments, federal, state, local, they need to do more in communicating their initiatives to the masses. And in a language the masses understand. Not every time you use social media influencers that don't even particularly understand what you're trying to sell.
Okay.
I mean, we have proper communication people. Engage them. Let them say, how best do we get this across to the masses? You can't not every time be on TV or be on blogs. No. 90% of your citizens are not even online. I mean, you need to go offline to share this information and actively fight against misinformation. And we said everybody is a journalist. No, they are not journalists. They are story curators. We need to differentiate between the journalists.
They call themselves journalists.
No, they're not.
They're not
Of course they are not. We know.
They just
We
correct
know they're
stories.
not.
The stories don't even have to be right.
You're right.
There you go.
Okay, again, know your audience, know your citizens, and so they are not journalists. don't let Yalo define you. They are not.
Of course I am a journalist, so I
what
understand.
people like Yalo, they have put the effort they put into the
spent
profession.
decades.
Come on now. Somebody just because you have money for data and you have money for one kind of phone, you start, blogging in one
And
day.
then with the help of AI, he starts
thank you.
writing.
You know, so I'm going to advise our governor. First of all, trust me, we need to clap for Governor Oti. I mean, trust
That's
me.
true.
Yes,
That's
we need
true.
to clap for him. And their governors, apart from my governor, Sanwo-Olu, apart from you, every other governor, go and learn from that man.
Oh.
Go and learn, especially the lady of Ogun State. Go and, I mean, going everywhere, doing party. Go and learn. Friends, basic amenities and social security system is a non-negotiable for any citizen in any part of the world. It is not, sir. Listen, apart from the Fishguard War in Wales in 1797, thereabout, you will never hear of any war in United Kingdom up to date. Why? House of Commons always ensure that citizens, people are living good. And House of Lords will ensure that they back the law and the policies. But in our own case, our House of Assembly, what do? House of Rep, what do? Yesterday, I was watching one of their proceedings. One was shouting, "You cannot shout at me. I am a director. You cannot shout at me. I will shout at you because I am from ruling party." And you see all manner of disgraceful acts and behaviors from the so-called leaders. I think enough is enough.
Okay, for me, if you look at the top countries with policies for the elderly, welfare policies for the elderly, there's no African country in the top 5. You would find Norway leading, you'll find Sweden, Switzerland, Germany,
Switzerland,
Canada, Japan, you know, like that. No African nation. So relatively, this is
And they have
new.
paternity leave for men, paternity leave and paternity pay. Not just maternity.
You know, so Governor Oti is doing something really innovative, really out of the box for the kind of environment where he operates from. It is strange to a lot of people that now they can access whatever it is that you say is contained in that welfare policy for the elderly. But just as Benga has said, it is also still vague to a lot of them. And that's why people are preying on people's intelligence and doing a lot of misinformation. There is a national orientation agency. They have state offices. There is Abia is a state. The governor is like an emperor. He owns that kingdom. It's like a kingdom. So just as Benga has also rightly said, everybody doesn't live on social media. No. There are a lot of people who are not on social media. There are policies that you still need basic communication channels to reach the people with.
Local languages.
You know, and then look, the local languages beyond pidgin. We're thinking we're too sophisticated for these channels. But hey, it is the basic channel with which you push anything that has to do with campaign. Governor Oti should match this policy with a campaign and to explain to the people, these are what you stand to gain.
I think he's actually done that.
He has to continue. Because why we're having this and why you've written this monologue is because there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, and bloggers are just blogging.
You see?
Okay.
Your blogger friends.
So,
oh boy.
when we had the COVID pandemic, a lot of schools started with, we're going to use Zoom, different kind of technology and everything. It didn't take us long to realize that it was not reaching a fraction of the nation.
That's right.
And that is already data in itself to tell us that technology is great, but it's not always the answer. Sometimes you might need to come to the level of town criers. Coming out in the village square to pass information. We need to do what works for us, understand the language of the people in our society. But right now, we are not using journalists, so we are using bloggers. We are using anybody that has phone. Because with all due respect to journalism, they do a lot of work. They do a lot of research.
The real journalists, right?
Yes, the real ones. So it's an insult to even call them journalists in. So blogging is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. Rumors, Chinese whispers, they are not strategies.
Neighbor to neighbor, door to door.
When we're carried away with our version of the truth, rather than the reality on the ground, then we aren't ready for real change. Are we? Benga.
Kingsley, some might be forgiven for saying that. We like our dysfunction just the way it is. If bandits can transmit and broadcast their news and communicate their plans from any part of Nigerian forest, why is it so hard for our results to be transmitted to the server and let people see from any part of the world on the day of election? Do we need to beg these sleeping lawmakers, the lawmakers before they make life easier for Nigerians? Dr. Olisa Bakoba was making some statements during the week, and I captured some of his statements. Listen, the 2023 election exposed a critical gap in our electoral legal framework, despite INEC's deployment of the IREF portal for electronic transmission of results. The Supreme Court ruled that this innovation lacks legal force. Can you imagine? The court held that because electronic transmission is not expressly provided by the Electoral Act 2022, it is not legally binding. So why did you allow it to come in the first place? All right. And that the IREF portal serves merely for public viewing and is not admissible evidence of results in election petitions. The late Justice Pat Acholono in Buhari versus Obasanjo doubted that a petitioner could successfully challenge a presidential election. On what ground? He noted that a petitioner needed to call approximately 250,000 to 300,000 witnesses across electoral constituencies in the country. And even if successful, the president-elect will have completed the 4-year tenure, rendering any victory an empty victory bereft of any substance. This prophecy has proven tragically accurate. No presidential election petitions has ever succeeded since 1999. If you know any, bring me the proof. History offers a proven solution. The June 12, 1993 election remains Nigeria's gold standard for electoral credibility, not because of sophisticated technology, but because of uncompromising transparency. Come on. The option A4 system ensured immediate open verification at polling units where voters, party agents, and observers could witness and confirm results before any collation occurred. Despite entirely manual processes, this transparency generated unprecedented public confidence. Both local and international observers acclaim it as Nigeria's freest and fairest election in the world. Imagine the transformative impact of real-time electronic transmission in our digital age in 2026. Nigerians need a perfect framework for transparency and to restore confidence in the electoral process. Without this amendment, we risk perpetuating the same cycle of disputed elections, protracted litigations, and damaged democratic credibility that has plagued Nigeria's fourth republic.
I love that you referenced option A4 because that was one strategy that worked back then. It was an IBB brainchild, and it worked fantastically. It gave us the free, what has now come to be known as the freest and the fairest election in Nigeria. I wonder why we discarded it. But, you know, question blowing in the wind. Party agents. It's important that we have party agents, whichever party is going to be in the election must have party agents. It's a non-negotiable because they're going to be there to ensure that what is being even uploaded on the IREV tallies with what is physically counted. Yeah. Having said that, before this debate and this refusal and then eventual approval by the Senate, remember that the House of Rep approved. But the Senate disapproved. So when you have more than 300 people in the lower chamber who are saying, oh yeah, let's go, and then you have these fewer people, always being the problem of this nation. The Society of Nigerian Engineers, I think NSC, Nigerian Society of Engineers, the body for computer engineering, all of them have said, no, we can work with this. Yeah. But you see, the Senate had other, ways before pressure was put on them. Yeah. The question then remains that what will happen to all those places where you do not normally have network? You started the monologue with, if bandits can have signals in the forest, why not these other places? But unfortunately, the question goes back to the government. It goes back to the providers,
network providers,
telecom providers. Why?
Okay, Zuma.
I see that
I have
Zuma
to get in
is
there.
raring to go. Yes.
So I'm going to say that the idea of electronically transmitting results real time is very audacious. But we lack the infrastructure to deliver on that. I mean, only 60% of Nigerian households have access to electricity. Only about 50% have connectivity. I'm talking about the whole country.
The BVAS doesn't require all of that.
No.
How?
There is nothing that you are using to transfer something to another database real time that does not require interconnectivity. And I'm telling you, just about 50% of Nigeria as a whole has got connectivity. So we were saying we want to transfer election results real time. With what? So
Zuma,
that is, yeah.
It is possible.
I think
do you know
I
how much the budget for election is?
Okay,
it is possible.
So the goal is to ensure we reach 100% connectivity before next year.
Much as I want this, I think we're not ready for democracy yet.
Thank you. We are not ready. That's the word.
And this is not being pessimistic. This is being realistic. And I always say this, on or off the camera, democracy is overrated.
I agree.
What do you benefit from democracy? Rule of law, isn't it? But if you can't guarantee credible election, you don't have a democracy. Even when you guarantee credible elections, but citizens can hold those elected accountable, and impunity is rife like it is here, you don't have a democracy. So we don't have. I told some friends, you want to install a CCTV camera in your house because bandits are planning to rob your house. But first, you need to ask the bandits, can I install the camera? What would they tell you? Install or don't install. They will definitely tell you don't install the camera because you're going to catch them. We're asking bandits to approve electoral.
We're asking electoral bandits.
You know, so I think we need to find a governance system that can help us move.
Who will find it for us?
Hold on.
Because definitely not this.
We have it on our plates already. We just need to activate.
Monarchy.
No. True federalism.
True federalism.
There is no country that built back from chaos. I dare you to challenge. There's no country that built back from chaos that leveraged democracy.
Thank you.
None.
Thank you.
On the part, I agree with you on no country that's built back, but I believe very much in democracy because absolute
I believe, Zuma. I do believe. But I'm just saying.
This true federalism.
This is what I'm saying.
We've done it before.
We all envy Singapore, don't we?
That's what we used.
Not with the presidential system.
Yes, not with the presidential system.
Yeah.
We all admire Singapore. But
And the Qataris.
Yes. Lee Kuan Yew, let's even use the Qataris are still not running a democracy. Yes. Singapore moved from a benevolent dictatorship to a democracy. Lee Kuan Yew could not have done what he did in a democracy in Singapore.
Never.
While I'm not advocating for dictatorship, but can we agree that let's suspend certain things that are holding us back right now? One of them being doctored elections and build to the point where, okay, guys, we're set. Let's go. Until then, these guys will just be rigging themselves into power.
So what do the people really want? It's just this transparency. They want the accountability. That's what people want. And I don't believe that there's any way we can do it without technology. So it might not be 100%, but at least it's an attempt to do it. If we can have live betting, if we can have live nationwide CBT exams, Ubers everywhere, there are so many things that are done live, even your alerts that you get. We are not looking for technology in every home to get the election results. We are looking for
centers.
Hang on. We are looking for centers. And like I said, we're not looking for perfection. As much as we can, we want accountability, we want transparency. So
credible election, Ronke. Sorry, let me quickly. Credible election will take Gary from somebody's mouth. You don't understand. It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business, but are we going to sit down and just accept it? We have to try. We have to be willing to do something. We can't keep complaining.
Yeah.
And then one day we are trying to ask for transparency, and we're saying, let's try and get live results. And we're saying, so what do we want? Let's choose our struggle. Do we want what we don't want?
Let me say this. For me,
Option
look at what's happening with PayPal, PayPoints, PayDs, Money Points. They're delivering better services than the traditional banks.
Yeah.
Now, that's just an aside. The point I want to make now that the Senate has now approved for electronic.
After being pressured.
After being pressured.
No, they've not approved.
They haven't.
There's a caveat.
Caveat.
Like
We're
it's not
hoping
mandated.
that it
But
will.
Ronke,
But
you
the
don't.
points I wanted to make
let you
is that after this, I hope they're now going to mandate telecom operators to ensure and
There
they
is
work on connectivity across the nation.
board.
Because without that, this is a huge joke.
But technology
Yes, we were
is
talking
very
about
important. And we can leverage on even more sophisticated systems, the Starlinks and the likes. We can get there. We may not get 100%, but we're not asking for 100%.
At least make an attempt.
Let's just make an attempt. Because every time we try and move forward, we are moving 10 steps back. We can't keep complaining. And every time we want something, the people are complaining again. We really have to make a decision when it comes to what we want.
Okay, so I have a thought, right? When we talk about the 1993 election as the freest and fairest election, but you know, this was an open ballot, stand behind your candidates, was that kind of election. No technology was deployed. What changed between that time and now?
Greed and corruption.
Which is why I
You
said,
can't be
why
asking
did we
this. You know.
discard
It is important to ask.
Greed and corruption, nothing more.
What has changed? Should I tell you what has changed? Can I tell you?
Yeah,
You see, our values have been tested and it has
we
fallen
have none
Yes.
left.
So that's where we are now.
Yeah,
So
as a
we just
people.
need to be better as people.
we need someone to bail the cat. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
Most of our politicians don't have any other business.
Yeah.
Politics is their bread and butter. If you take it away, hunger is their portion.
All right.
So fighting this fight is survival for them.
The same every day for the thief, one day for the owner of the house, assumes that the owners will rise up and claim what is theirs. Be sure to occupy your seat at the table. Some of us don't need invitation. We are the leg, we are the rooms. We'll be here same time, same channel next week. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us at the table.
Boy.